Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's 2015 Week 2. This is a look at the Lake Norman versus Hopewell game. I'm Dale Ross.
And I'm the pet man, Matt Morrow.
So, Matt, this Lake Norman and Hopewell, interesting ball game because we got the comments about Lake Norman struggling offensively but still winning and giving up so many points to North Mecklenburg. Almost got to make you think that Hopewell, who is going through their own struggles with a new coach, but not necessarily struggles here. They won last week, but they've got their own internal things of having to build the program. Not much expected out of them, etc. But boy, when you look at that and you hear the comments and you think, is this Lake Norman team, and where is North Mac? And this is another one of those games that I think could be a competitive ball game, and it's a ball game that you got to think that Hopewell, and I'm sure that Lake Norman will say the same thing, has got a chance to win. But this is one of those games that you might last season have said, nah, Hopewell's not going to win that ball game.
Right.
But now Coach Gray could be looking at 2-0.
Well, let me start with Lake Norman because I did see Hopewell last week. Lake Norman has another Ladowski there.
Right, exactly, young one.
Yeah. And, comments from a Lake Norman point of view was saying that their offense was kind of bland. They may have to open it up a little more in the future. I didn't get to see a real good look at the Hopewell defense. Like I mentioned in my observations, playing Garinger. I got their second half. They didn't really, blitz much, but they were well defined in their assignments, and that's how they were in position to make, interceptions and force turnovers. So I expect them to be disciplined. And if Lake Norman is not real creative offensively, that could, kind of slow them down in the beginning, because I think Hopewell is well coached. They're going to know what they're looking at. They're going to be able to read their keys and be in the right place at least.
Right.
I know they did have a corner that had a nice pick six. Got called back for a block in the back penalty. The pet peeve of mine: don't block behind the play.
Right. No need.
But I expect Hopewell to be in place defensively. It's going to be a bit more of a challenge, obviously, than Garinger was. Offensively, Lake Norman's going to have to contain the quarterback, Trey, number one. He does real well in their zone read spread type of scheme. Multiple options coming off of that with jet motion. If Lake Norman is struggling on defense, I expect Hopewell to be able to put up some points. They had good methodical drives against Garinger, maybe 8, 9, 10 yards a clip. Hopewell doesn't have, I would say, game breakers at the skill positions, but they have guys that know their assignment, and they block well on the outside especially, and they execute.
Right.
And, it's not a lot that Coach Gray's given them, but what they do have, they do execute well. And I'm imagining it's probably a similar thing for Lake Norman, given that they have the younger Ladowski there, and they're trying to bring him along. So I expect it to be a good game. I really do. Early, Lake Norman had success in the playoffs. Obviously, we know that from last year. And you got Hopewell, who's still kind of trying to go. So maybe that experience that Lake Norman has is going to carry him through here. But Hopewell's not going to make it easy by any stretch of the imagination.
And struggles that, people mention can all be first game struggles. Yeah. And I tried to tell a person the other night at the ball game, some things are correctable and some things are not. There's certain things like with types of penalties and all that can occur that are correctable, and some that are discipline, ingrained. They take a lot longer to work out, but some offensive struggle just might be that, we don't have this player in the right position, and you move a couple of players around, and all of a sudden everything, comes together for the team. So it's hard to pin that on Lake Norman, knowing their history, and that you got to figure they're able to do a little bit of reloading. Maybe not a reload like a Mallard Creek, but still a reload. And it may just be, oh, this kid really isn't good at that position, and we need to move him here. So game film shows that. You practice, you see one thing. But game time really tells you a lot about a player. It could be a competitive ball game. some people may be picking Lake Norman big in this, and I can see some.
Yeah, I
people,
can see why you would say that
exactly.
with their playoff experience and success they've had recently, but you know, don't sell Hopewell short.
Exactly.
Don't sell them short.
We might be upselling Coach Gray too much, but I don't think so. So I think this could be a competitive ball game. Not the best. I see a few more that I'm like, wow. Anyway, I'm expecting to see some. I guess a little definition of where Hopewell is.
This
from
will
this
tell
ball
us a
game.
lot about Hopewell, and it'll be a big crowd. They had a nice crowd last week. I was
Did they?
kind of surprised to see that. So
good.
with Lake Norman being close by, it should be a good crowd. So get there early.
Okay. Thank you. You guys enjoy your ball game.